After 60, many women notice their skin sagging, bones weakening, arteries stiffening, and energy fading. Doctors often blame age, but science shows there is one overlooked nutrient that quietly determines how fast or slow you age: vitamin K2. When this vitamin runs low, calcium, instead of strengthening your bones and skin, hardens your arteries, stiffens your joints, and accelerates wrinkles. Low K2 doesn't just age your body on the inside, it shows on the outside too. And yet, very few women have ever been told about it. This is the silent deficiency that could be making you look and feel older than you really are. But once you restore it, you can reverse the clock from within. When you think of calcium, most people immediately imagine strong bones and healthy teeth. Doctors prescribe calcium supplements, advertisements push milk for strong bones, and many women after 60 believe the answer to aging bones is simply to add more calcium into the diet. But here's the shocking truth: calcium without vitamin K2 is like a traveler with no map. It doesn't know where to go. Instead of staying in the bones where it belongs, calcium begins to drift, depositing itself in dangerous places: arteries, joints, and soft tissues. This is what scientists call calcium misplacement, and it's one of the most overlooked drivers of aging in women over 60. Imagine your arteries as flexible garden hoses. When calcium begins to settle inside them, it's like pouring cement down that hose. Over time, the walls stiffen, blood flow becomes restricted, and your heart has to pump harder just to keep circulation moving. This process, called arterial calcification, is silent. You don't feel it happening, but it shows up years later as high blood pressure, shortness of breath, or sudden cardiovascular problems. And many women blame cholesterol, but in truth, misplaced calcium plays a much bigger role. And the root cause of this misplacement is almost always low vitamin K2. Bones, on the other hand, suffer the opposite fate. Instead of absorbing the calcium you consume, they lose density. And without vitamin K2, a special protein in the body called osteocalcine remains inactive. Think of osteocalcine as the magnet that pulls calcium into your bones. Without K2 to switch it on, the magnet weakens and calcium slips away. The result? Bones become brittle, fractures happen more easily, and osteoporosis accelerates. You can be taking plenty of calcium, even vitamin D, but without K2, much of it will escape into the wrong tissues, leaving bones fragile and arteries hardened at the same time. This is why some women experience the cruel paradox of aging: more wrinkles, weaker bones, and stiffer arteries, all while faithfully taking their calcium supplements. It's not that calcium is harmful, it's that calcium is unchaperoned. Without vitamin K2 to guide it, calcium is a wanderer that often does more harm than good. Scientists now recognize that K2 acts as a traffic director, telling calcium exactly where to go: into bones and teeth and away from arteries and skin. The consequences of this misplacement are not just medical, they're visible. Stiff joints, sagging skin, and fatigue are often outward signs of what's happening inside. When arteries stiffen, blood circulation slows, starving the skin of oxygen and nutrients. This accelerates fine lines, dryness, and sagging. What looks like normal aging is often the body's silent cry for vitamin K2. The empowering truth is this: calcium misplacement is not irreversible. Studies show that when women restore K2 through diet and supplementation, bone density improves, arterial stiffness slows, and skin regains some of its youthful firmness. By correcting this one deficiency, you give calcium the map it has always needed. Instead of aging you, calcium once again becomes your ally, building strength from the inside out, protecting your heart, and supporting vitality well into your 70s and beyond. When most women over 60 look in the mirror, the first thing they notice is not their bones or arteries, but their skin. The soft sagging around the cheeks, the deepening of fine lines, the drooping jawline, all these changes whisper the story of aging. But here's what science now reveals: much of this visible aging is not simply the passing of time. It is the silent work of vitamin K2 deficiency. Your skin is made up of two crucial proteins: collagen and elastin. Collagen gives skin its firmness and structure, while elastin allows it to snap back, keeping it tight and youthful. Imagine a trampoline. Collagen is the steel frame that holds everything in place, while elastin is the spring that keeps it bouncy. But here's the secret. Without vitamin K2, both begin to weaken far earlier than they should. Low K2 allows calcium to escape the bones and drift into places it doesn't belong, including the skin. This misplaced calcium binds to elastic fibers in your skin, stiffening them, breaking them down, and causing the once supple framework of your skin to collapse. The result? Wrinkles form deeper, sagging accelerates, and the skin loses its youthful glow. What many women spend thousands on creams and facials to fight, the body could have prevented from within, simply with the right nutrient. This is why anti-aging is not only about what you put on your skin, but what you put into your body. Vitamin K2 is an internal beauty switch. It helps protect collagen from being broken down too quickly, keeps elastin fibers flexible, and ensures calcium does not harden the tissues of your skin. With enough K2, your skin cells receive proper blood flow, oxygen, and nutrients. The complexion brightens, fine lines soften, and the skin retains more of its natural firmness. Now think about how many women chase solutions outside, injections, lasers, serums, while inside the skin is starving for this one overlooked vitamin. Dermatologists rarely mention it, beauty companies don't promote it, yet clinical studies are showing that higher K2 intake is linked with smoother skin, fewer wrinkles, and slower visible aging. The connection doesn't stop at beauty. Sagging skin is not just cosmetic, it's a mirror of what's happening internally. If your skin's elastic fibers are being stiffened by misplaced calcium, chances are the same process is happening in your arteries, joints, and other tissues. The wrinkles you see on the outside are often a reflection of silent aging on the inside. That's why restoring vitamin K2 is about more than appearance, it's about total body renewal. And here's the most encouraging truth. The skin responds quickly to better blood flow and collagen protection. Women who begin replenishing K2 often notice changes in how their skin feels and looks. A natural glow returns, firmness improves, and the slow march of wrinkles begins to ease. It is proof that aging skin is not just fate, it's biology. And biology can be changed. By feeding your skin from within, you don't just look younger, you are renewing your body at its deepest level. Bones are often thought of as hard, lifeless structures, but the truth is, your bones are living tissue, constantly breaking down and rebuilding. By the time women reach 60, however, this natural renewal process begins to slow. The result is bone loss, weaker frames, and a far greater risk of fractures. For decades, the advice has been the same: take more calcium. But as you now know, calcium without vitamin K2 is like building a house without a blueprint. Instead of strengthening the walls, the materials are left scattered and the foundation grows weaker. Vitamin K2 is the hidden conductor of bone health. It activates a special protein called osteocalcin, which tells calcium exactly where to go into the bone matrix. When K2 levels are low, osteocalcin remains inactive and calcium drifts away. This means your bones, which should be absorbing every bit of calcium you eat, are left starving, hollow, and fragile. Even if you've spent years faithfully drinking milk, taking calcium tablets, or adding vitamin D, much of that effort goes to waste without K2 to lock it in place. This is why osteoporosis, the thinning and weakening of bones, is so common in women after menopause. The hormonal shift already accelerates bone breakdown, but when combined with low K2, the decline speeds up dramatically. It is not uncommon for women to lose up to 20% of their bone density in the years after 60. And with weaker bones comes one of the greatest fears of aging: fractures. A simple slip in the kitchen, a stumble on the stairs, or even a hard cough can break bones that once seemed unbreakable. But what makes fractures so dangerous is not only the injury itself, but the chain reaction they trigger. A hip fracture in a woman over 60 often leads to months of immobility, loss of independence, and even decline in heart and brain health. It's not just a broken bone, It's a broken way of life. And all of it ties back to a deficiency most women never knew they had. The hopeful truth is that vitamin K2 can change this story. Studies have shown that women who consume enough K2 have stronger bones, fewer fractures, and slower progression of osteoporosis. By activating osteocalcium, K2 ensures calcium is anchored firmly in the bone structure, reinforcing the skeleton from within. Over time, bones become denser, stronger, and more resilient. Think of K2 as the architect and builder your bones have been waiting for. With it, the calcium you already have is used efficiently rather than wasted. Without it, every step you take, every twist or turn carries a silent risk. But with it, every movement becomes a testament to strength, vitality, and resilience. Aging does not have to mean fragile bones. With vitamin K2, women over 60 can rewrite the story of their skeletons, not as brittle, but as strong, not as vulnerable, but as enduring. It is proof that your body is not failing you. It is waiting for the right tools to rebuild itself. And K2 is one of the most powerful tools of all. Your heart is the most faithful organ you have. From the moment you were born, it has never stopped beating, not once. By the time you turn 60, it has pumped more than 2 billion times. But the strength of your heart does not just depend on the muscle itself, it depends on the highways that carry blood through your body, your arteries. When those arteries are flexible, elastic, and open, blood flows smoothly, delivering oxygen and nutrients to every cell. But when vitamin K2 is missing, those arteries slowly stiffen, narrow, and age you from the inside out. This stiffening is caused by calcium deposits. Without K2, calcium that should be nourishing your bones instead hardens inside the artery walls. Imagine pouring cement into a garden hose. That is what happens to your blood vessels when calcium is misplaced. The once supple arteries lose their flexibility, and the heart is forced to push harder and harder to move blood through. Over time, this raises blood pressure, strains the heart muscle, and sets the stage for heart attacks, strokes, and chronic fatigue. What makes this so dangerous is that you don't feel it happening. Arterial calcification is silent. For years, maybe decades, calcium quietly accumulates until one day the body begins sending signals: dizziness, chest tightness, shortness of breath when walking upstairs. Many women think this is just old age. In reality, it is the body crying out for vitamin K2. Here's what science has uncovered. Women with higher K2 intake have far fewer cardiovascular problems. Why? Because K2 activates a protein called matrix GLA protein, which literally sweeps calcium away from arteries and redirects it to bones where it belongs. Think of it as your body's cleanup crew. Without K2, that crew never shows up. With K2, your arteries remain clear, flexible, and youthful even into your 70s and 80s. This is not just about preventing disease, it's about preserving life itself. A flexible artery does more than protect your heart, it keeps your brain sharp, your skin nourished, and your energy levels strong. When blood flows easily, every organ thrives. When blood flow is blocked, every system suffers. The difference between a woman who feels vibrant at 70 and a woman who feels drained at 60 often lies in the health of her arteries. But here's the encouraging truth: arterial aging is not a one-way street. Studies show that restoring vitamin K2 can actually slow and, in some cases, partially reverse arterial stiffening. Women who replenish K2 begin to see improvements in circulation, blood pressure, and overall vitality. It is as if the body has been waiting for this signal to repair itself. Every beat of your heart is a gift, but it is also a choice. By ignoring vitamin K2, calcium slowly strangles those precious arteries. By embracing it, you give your heart freedom to beat strongly, freely, and without strain. Age may try to harden your arteries, but with K2, you can fight back, keeping the highways of life open and flowing. One of the deepest fears many women face after 60 is not just weak bones or sagging skin. It's losing their mind. Forgetting where you place your keys is one thing, but forgetting familiar faces, losing track of conversations, or struggling to recall cherished memories can feel terrifying. We often think memory decline is just the price of aging, but science is revealing a new truth. Vitamin K2 plays a powerful role in protecting your brain. Your brain is the hungriest organ in your body. Even though it makes up only 2% of your weight, it consumes 20% of your blood supply. This means healthy circulation is the brain's lifeline. But when vitamin K2 is low, calcium begins to clog the small vessels that feed the brain. Just as it hardens arteries in the heart, misplaced calcium stiffens and narrows the delicate blood channels in the brain. The result? Less oxygen, fewer nutrients, and slower signaling between brain cells. Over time, this accelerates memory loss, brain fog, and even the risk of dementia. Researchers have also found that K2 helps regulate special proteins in the brain that protect nerve cells. Without it, harmful deposits can form, damaging connections and disrupting communication. It's like static building up on a phone line. Thoughts don't travel as clearly, focus slips, and memories fade faster. But here's the hopeful news. Women who restore vitamin K2 often experience sharper thinking, better focus, and improved recall. By keeping blood vessels flexible and clear, K2 ensures the brain receives the rich flow of oxygen and nutrients it depends on. In fact, some studies have shown that higher K2 intake is linked with healthier brain aging and a lower risk of cognitive decline. Think of it this way. Every time your heart beats, blood rushes upward to fuel your brain. If those pathways are open, your brain thrives. If they are blocked, your mind slows. Vitamin K2 is the guardian that keeps those pathways clear, ensuring that the light of your thoughts, creativity, and memories doesn't dim too soon. And here's something even more inspiring. The brain is not fixed. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire and renew itself, continues well into older age. But it can only do this if it is nourished. With K2 protecting blood flow and nerve health, the brain's natural resilience awakens. Memory becomes steadier, concentration improves, and the fear of losing yourself begins to fade. Aging does not have to mean surrendering your sharpness or clarity. Your mind is not doomed to decline just because the calendar turns. By giving it the nutrients it has been missing, especially vitamin K2, you are choosing not just to preserve your memories, but to create new ones with strength and vitality. The brain is a living testament to your life's journey. And with K2, you can protect it, nourish it, and keep it glowing with wisdom for decades to come. When people finally discover the power of vitamin K2, the next question always comes, where do I get it? The surprising truth is that K2 is not abundant in most modern diets, which is why so many women over 60 are unknowingly deficient. But the good news is that nature has already provided rich, delicious, and accessible sources of K2. By making small intentional changes to your meals, you can restore this critical nutrient and slow down the clock from within. One of the richest natural sources of K2 is a traditional Japanese food called natto. It's made from fermented soybeans and has been eaten for centuries in Japan, where rates of bone fractures and artery stiffening are far lower than in countries where natto is absent. Natto is packed with K2 in a form that the body absorbs easily. It may have a strong taste, but even small amounts can have a powerful impact on bone, skin, and artery health. But you don't need to move to Japan to get K2. Many everyday foods carry it as well. Fermented cheeses, especially varieties like Gouda, Brie, and Edam, are excellent sources. These cheeses undergo a fermentation process that naturally boosts their K2 content. Unlike processed cheese slices or spreads, real aged cheeses not only delight your taste buds, but also deliver the nutrient your bones and arteries are craving. Egg yolks are another potent source, but here's the key. The richest yolks come from chickens raised on grass or pasture, not from mass manufactory farms. The diet of the animal determines the nutrients in the food, which means free-range eggs contain significantly higher levels of K2. Similarly, grass-fed meats and dairy from cows that graze on natural pastures are far superior to the grain-fed counterparts. Grass-fed butter, cream, and beef carry the K2 your body can use to guide calcium into the right places. Organ meats like chicken liver or beef liver, though less common in modern kitchens, are traditional foods that hold exceptional nutritional value, including K2. For centuries, these foods were staples, and it is no coincidence that people who ate them regularly had fewer problems with fragile bones and stiff arteries later in life. For vegetarians or those who eat little meat, fermented foods beyond natto can also help. Certain sauerkrauts and fermented vegetables prepared traditionally, not the ones loaded with vinegar in supermarkets, may carry small but helpful amounts of K2. While plant foods are not primary sources, combining them with even small amounts of cheese or egg yolk can make a big difference. And the most important lesson is this: quality matters. The nutrient content of your food depends on how it is raised, grown, and prepared. By choosing traditionally raised, naturally fed, and fermented foods, you give your body what modern diets have stripped away. Vitamin K2 is not exotic, expensive, or out of reach. It's hidden in everyday meals, in the cheese you slice, the eggs you cook, the butter you spread, and the foods your grandmother probably ate more often than we do today. By bringing these foods back to your plate, you restore not just a missing nutrient, but the vitality, strength, and resilience that K2 has been quietly offering to humans for centuries. The secret to lasting health after 60 is not found in dramatic overnight changes, but in the quiet power of daily rituals. When it comes to vitamin K2, the key is consistency, because K2 works like a traffic director, guiding calcium into your bones and out of your arteries and skin. Your body needs a steady supply every single day. Think of it like watering a plant. One big flood once in a while won't do much, but regular, gentle nourishment allows it to grow strong and vibrant. So, what does a daily K2 ritual look like? It begins with food. Start your morning with something as simple as a free range egg yolk cooked in grass fed butter. This combination delivers a natural dose of K2 while pairing beautifully with vitamin D and healthy fats, which help your body absorb the nutrient more effectively. If you enjoy cheese, add a slice of fermented cheese like Gouda or Brie to your breakfast or snack. It's a delicious way to fortify your bones and skin from within. At lunch or dinner, include a serving of grass fed meat or poultry. Even small amounts of chicken thighs, beef, or liver can supply valuable K2. If you're more adventurous, try adding fermented foods like natto or traditionally prepared sauerkraut a few times a week. These foods have been staples in certain cultures for centuries, and they carry the nutrient most modern diets have forgotten. Pairing your K2 foods with vitamin D rich foods like fatty fish, mushrooms, or time in the sunlight is another part of the ritual. Vitamin D helps your body absorb calcium, while K2 makes sure that calcium is used properly. Together, they are like partners. One opens the door and the other directs traffic. Without both, the system doesn't work as it should. But the ritual is not only about eating, it's about how you live. Regular movement, even simple walking, helps improve blood flow so K2 can reach every cell and tissue that needs it. Deep sleep at night allows your body to repair and rebuild, locking calcium into your bones where it belongs. Stress management through prayer, meditation, or quiet reflection also protects your body from inflammation that can interfere with nutrient absorption. If your diet doesn't naturally provide enough K2, supplementation can be considered. Many women over 60 benefit from a daily K2 supplement, often combined with vitamin D3, but the principle remains the same. It must be consistent. A pill taken once a week won't do much. A steady daily intake gives your body the rhythm it needs to renew itself. The beauty of a K2 ritual is that it doesn't feel like work. It's not a drastic diet, an expensive treatment, or a punishing exercise plan. It's a set of simple, repeatable choices woven into your everyday life. A yolk here, a slice of cheese there, a few minutes of sunshine, a walk around the block. Over time, these small actions accumulate and the body responds in extraordinary ways: stronger bones, clearer arteries, firmer skin, and a sharper mind. Your body is always listening to what you give it. By making vitamin K2 a daily companion, you are telling your body, I choose renewal, I choose strength, I choose life. Aging faster after 60 is not destiny, it is deficiency. For too long, women have been told that sagging skin, fragile bones, stiff arteries, fading memory, and low energy are just part of getting older. Doctors label it natural aging, society accepts it as inevitable, and women silently carry the weight of decline. But the truth is more liberating. Your body is not simply falling apart, it is missing a vital piece. And that missing piece is vitamin K2. Think of your body as a brilliant orchestra. The bones are the percussion, the skin is the strings, the arteries are the wind instruments, and the brain is the conductor. Every note must be in harmony. But when K2 runs low, the orchestra falls into chaos. Calcium, meant to strengthen bones, begins to wander aimlessly, hardening arteries, weakening joints, stiffening tissues, and breaking down the music of life. What looks like aging is often just the sound of an orchestra missing its conductor. But here is the hope. You can bring the conductor back. By restoring vitamin K2, you don't just slow aging, you redirect it. You tell calcium, go where you belong, into bones, into teeth, into the very structure that keeps me strong. You free your arteries from hardening, you protect your skin from sagging, you sharpen your memory, and you breathe new energy into your life. Every single day, you make choices about what you eat. Every bite is a message to your body. Some foods accelerate the silent aging process, stripping your body of its ability to repair. Others, like those rich in K2, flip on your body's renewal switch. This means you hold the power, not the calendar, not the doctor's verdict, not the fear of growing older. You decide whether your body continues to decline or begins to rebuild. Imagine yourself at 60, 70, even 80, standing tall with strong bones, walking confidently without fear of fractures, feeling your skin firm and vibrant, and speaking with clarity because your memory is sharp. This is not fantasy. This is biology waiting for the right signal. And K2 is that signal. Too often, women accept weakness, fatigue, or wrinkles as signs of the end. But aging is not the enemy. Neglect is. When your body is nourished, it will repair, it will restore, it will fight for you. You may not control the years, but you control how those years shape you. Vitamin K2 is a daily act of resistance against decline and a daily act of partnership with your own biology. So the question is not, will I age? Because aging is certain. The real question is, how will I age? Will you let your body hollow out, harden, and fade? Or will you give it the tools to thrive, to stay strong, to remain vibrant long after the world says you should be slowing down? The choice is in your hands, in the foods you place on your plate, in the rituals you embrace each day, in the awareness you bring to your own health. You are not powerless. You are not too late. Even now, your body is waiting for the missing nutrient it has been deprived of for years. Aging with strength, beauty, and vitality is not about turning back the clock. It is about proving the clock does not control you. Youth is not gone, it is hidden inside your daily choices. And when you restore vitamin K2, you awaken it.